Albert Einstein. I mean, you hear the name and the word genius instantly pops into your head, right? But what if I told you that the very man who laid the groundwork for modern physics actually made a massive, fundamental mistake about how the universe works? Today, we're diving into a literal clash of titans, the epic showdown between classical physics and the totally bizarre, mind-bending truths of the quantum world. And, spoiler alert, we're going to see how in the end, the ultimate authority in science was proven completely, unequivocally wrong. So think about it. Could the world's absolute greatest scientific mind actually be wrong about reality itself? It sounds crazy, I know. Einstein loved a universe that made perfect sense, one that followed strict, predictable rules. But he was about to collide head-on with the spooky, unpredictable nature of quantum mechanics. To really grasp this showdown between one man's brilliant intuition and nature's weirdest secrets, we gotta take a quick step back. Part 1. The ultimate question. What is reality? Long before we had giant particle accelerators or shiny Nobel Prizes, humanity had to start from scratch. We're talking like 70,000 years ago, during the cognitive revolution. Suddenly, we weren't just thinking about surviving the winter or finding food. We started looking up at the stars and asking, who am I? Am I just a bunch of physical matter, or is there some deeper consciousness behind all this? This absolute primal drive to understand our existence gave birth to metaphysics, specifically ontology, the study of what is actually real. Now, how we actually search for this ultimate truth is beautifully captured by an old analogy, the spider and the honeybee. Think of a philosopher as the spider. They spin these intricate, massive webs of truth entirely from within, using their own internal logic and reasoning. But a scientist is the honeybee. They can't just rely on their own thoughts. They literally have to go out into the external world, collect the raw nectar of empirical data and experiments, and then process that into the honey of scientific truth. For centuries, the philosophy spiders and the science honeybees were essentially working in the exact same garden, just trying to figure out the universe.
Part 2. The secret of quantum theory.
Okay, so what happens when the scientist's honey completely breaks our understanding of reality? Enter the infamous double-slit experiment. It's a real mind-bender. Down in the subatomic world, when scientists fire particles at a wall and no one is watching, they act like a wave, creating this complex, overlapping pattern. But here's the kicker. The second scientists set up a device to observe them, boom, they instantly start acting like solid little particles. I mean, what? Simply the act of observing them actually changes their physical behavior. The observer literally changes reality. As you can probably guess, this absolutely drove Albert Einstein up the wall. It prompted his legendary quote, "God does not play dice with the universe." You see, Einstein was firmly convinced that the cosmos had hard, objective rules. He completely rejected the idea that a particle's behavior could somehow depend on whether or not someone was looking at it. To him, quantum theory wasn't profound, it was just incomplete. He figured there had to be some hidden rules we just hadn't figured out yet. Part 3. Einstein's biggest blunder. The one concept that frustrated Einstein more than anything else was quantum entanglement. Let's break this down. Quantum mechanics suggested that two subatomic particles could become deeply entangled or linked. This means if you mess with one particle here on Earth, its entangled partner, whether it's on the moon, the sun, or literally a billion light years away in another galaxy, will instantly mirror that change. No matter the distance, they act as a single unified system. So why did Einstein hate this so much? Well, classical physics tells us that the speed of light is the absolute speed limit of the universe, about 300,000 kilometers per second. It takes a full 8 minutes just for sunlight to reach us. But quantum entanglement, that communication takes exactly 0 seconds. It is instantaneous. Einstein actually mocked this, famously calling it spooky action at a distance. In his mind, nothing could travel faster than light, period. So this instant communication meant quantum mechanics was deeply, fundamentally flawed. Part 4. The 2022 Nobel Prize. So who was right? Let's look at how history played out. In 1921, Einstein wins the Nobel Prize for his brilliant early photon research. But fast forward to 1955, and he passes away still stubbornly rejecting quantum randomness. He went to his grave believing entanglement was a mistake. But science kept moving. Through the 60s, 70s, and 80s, physicists conducted the incredibly precise Bell experiments. And the results? Entanglement was real. No hidden variables, no mistakes. Fast forward again to 2022, and 3 brilliant scientists are awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Einstein's objections were entirely wrong. Part 5. Science meets philosophy. Now, this scientific triumph isn't just about lab experiments. Quantum physics absolutely takes a sledgehammer to our classical idea of causation, cause and effect. Classical theory says every event needs a physical push or a literal touch, but if just looking at a particle changes its shape, or if an electron on Earth instantly reacts with one in another galaxy without any physical connection whatsoever, well, we have to rethink everything. It strongly suggests that reality might not even be purely physical until consciousness actually interacts with it. Check out this absolutely wild parallel. Today's cutting-edge science uses the observer effect to prove that looking at particles changes them. Now, compare that to ancient Indian philosophy, specifically Advaita Vedanta. Thousands of years ago, these thinkers argued that the physical universe is Maya, an illusion, and that the ultimate truth is pure consciousness. Think of it like a dream. When you're dreaming, the food, the ground, your friends, they all feel 100% physical, right? But they're constructed entirely by your consciousness. What the ancient philosophers found through deep thought, modern scientists literally just proved by smashing subatomic particles together. Both paths led to the exact same mind-blowing destination. Which brings us to today's final and arguably most profound question. Does the universe only exist when you are looking at it? I mean, if our consciousness is actually shaping the particles of the world around us, then your role in this universe is way more magical and active than classical physics ever gave you credit for. It is the ultimate mystery of our existence, a truth so strange, so deeply unsettling, that even Albert Einstein himself couldn't accept it. Thanks so much for diving into this reality-bending explainer with us today. Keep observing, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.